So what I'm going to do today is get this thing back into the shop, get all the way down to the timing set, and in my last video I promised that in the next video I would show you how to set the timing the correct way. And I'm a man of my word, so that's what I'm going to do. So this head, you can turn and see how it snaps into place, and it snaps into the next location. You turn it again, and see it snaps, and that's not lined up. Snap, snap. So that one did line up real nice like. From there, this should rotate 9 times before it'll snap to that location again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, not rotate, but snap. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there it is. We adjust this head until this mark snapped into the 9 o'clock position, and there's actually a little tick mark down here on the head itself that you'll see that needs to line up with. And let me just show you this. This head will snap into that position. I'm gonna do it again because this should snap 9 times right now. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here you can see this timing mark has snapped to the 9 o'clock position. And now, the critical step here is you have to actually take this and physically rotate it 90 degrees until this timing mark lines up with this mark right here on the head, like that. So look down at it real close and make sure that lines up. And so this will want to snap, not to this location. So you gotta make sure that lines up, just like that. All right, I've got a spoke riding on top of the piston. Watching that spoke go up and down will tell me that piston is at top dead center. I'm gonna rotate the crank around and we'll keep an eye on that spoke. When it gets as high as it can, that's when you know. So now it's going down. On down. Here it's coming back up. Coming back up. And so as soon as that's as high as it'll go, you should be right at top dead center. Right about there. So now down here on your crank gear, you'll see that the keyway is lined up with this timing mark on the oil pump. And you have another little timing tick on the oil, on the gear, on this side of the gear, that is lined up, it's horizontal. This thing is now set up to get a belt put on. Crank, pulley, gear, keyway to the right, other mark to the left, horizontal. This one snaps to the 12 o'clock position. This one snaps to the 9 o'clock position, and then you rotate it 90 degrees, and we confirm that that's at top dead center. So this thing is ready for the belt to go on. And your belt will hopefully come with these marks on them. It's got a solid mark here, a dotted mark here, and a solid mark here. So because this dotted mark lines up here on the left side of the crank pulley, you see this dots on belt on the left, is then closer to this solid line that lines up with this head, and then this one has to wrap around the pulley and then up to the timing marks. You'll notice that the 3 dots is actually closer on the belt to this mark, and it's further away from this mark. And so when you're actually looking at the belt itself, you'll see, that's how you'll know which way it's oriented, is it'll be closer to one of these timing marks and it'll be further away from the other one. And so let's say the new belt that you bought doesn't have these timing marks on it. You better hope your old one does, because then you can use the old belt to mark, you set them on top of each other and you line up, you mark the dots, you mark the lines on the new belt, and then you can get it lined up just right on here, because those marks are kind of critical for getting the timing just right. So here we're going to stick this one lined up there. That one's in place. This one where it needs to be. Yeah, got that one in place. Clip on there. And this will go over this. This will go over this. You want the dotted line on this. There's just a tiny little timing mark right here. You can feel it right there. You want your dotted line lined up on there. And so that one is hard to get. So what you need to do now is actually rotate the crank slightly counterclockwise until you can get that one to line up right there. You need that up over there. That line up. Yeah, yes it is. So then you can get your crank tightened back to where it belongs. And I'm actually gonna take this one off of here and put it on there. Now that ain't going anywhere, but you know, that one's lined up nice and good. This one's lined up where it's supposed to be. This one's lined up where it's supposed to be. As long as all the marks are lined up, I gotta go get my tensioner pre-tensioned. So you gotta find yourself a small enough drill bit that'll fit through here, Stick this in your vise and compress it. There you go. You can release the tension, and you've got that retensioned. Timing belt tensioner bolts, dual overhead cam, 18 foot-pounds. 18. We're just gonna go to 20. Pull the pin. I'm gonna mess with this a little.